Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us to another new In the Queue product feature. My name, David Strausser. I'm sales here at Quaint Business Solutions. Quaint is an SAP Business One provider who values excellency in customer service as well as knowledge of the SAP Business One application. Part of what we do at Quaint is to ensure we are always bringing the latest and greatest innovations in the SAP Business One space to our existing customers because we love empowering you and potential new customers, which is what brings us to our presentation today. Today, we have Quaint's own Marli Schutte showing off some awesome out-of-the-box tips and tricks with branches in SAP Business One. Marli, welcome to the show. Just a reminder real quick, I just want to, we will have a quick question and answer time at the end of the presentation, okay? So you should see a Q&A box up there. Throw your questions in there. Marli's here, she's showing. We will get to every question at the end. And for now, I'm going to turn it over to you, Marli.
Thank you, David. So yes, we will be talking about branches in Business One today. These are the topics that we will go over, why it matters, and the big question of whether you should use branches or separate company databases. Latest enhancements, I will walk you through how to set it up, go over security and authorizations, and also show you transactions and reporting. So why branches matter? When SAP brought out branches, it's awesome for companies who have separate locations for them to share master data and users while separating operations and also reporting, and not having to have separate licenses for different users and so on. We also have an advantage in simplifying the admin and consolidated reporting. Now, where branches is best suited for would be where you have a company, one tax ID or one legal company, where they have different branches, retail store, service centers, all of those things. That is what it's best suited for, falling under one EIN or legal entity. We will come back to this later on. So the evolution of the branch functionality, in the earlier versions of SAP Business One, it was designed around a single business location. And as the companies expanded, they ended up creating multiple databases. Now, SAP introduced multiple branches to solve this problem by allowing, of course, for a single database with branch-specific warehouses and users, numbering series, and all of that. Common misconceptions for branches is that branches are only for large companies. No, this is for small and medium companies as well, where you do want to have your reporting split by business units and still have the luxury of users logging into the databases with their one license. Branches is not dimensions, cost centers. Branches is kind of where did this transaction happen, where dimensions is typically what and who should this revenue or expense be allocated to. Branches is much bigger, it touches much more than dimensions, but that's also a topic for another time. Branches will allow one customer record for both branches. To have it saved in one location, you can run your aging in one for all branches or just for one branch. And now, okay, misconception. Now here I need to go back to what I said, what branches is best for. It's for a single EIN or tax entity, which have different business units or locations. But Business One actually allow you to have branches with different EINs. And you will have to work with your consultant and your CPA on this because it's very rare that that is the best case scenario to go for. But I wanted to just say that you can do that. If you do have different EINs as different branches within the same database, Your sales tax reporting is something that you will have to look at, because you will have to do tax determination by branch for that. You cannot use out-of-the-box sales taxes if you have different EINs for branches. Okay, let's jump to the next one. Okay, and this is now where I'm going to start walking through the setup and the configuration in Business One. I'm going to show you how to activate and set up. Now, activate and set up. There is something that you need to have in place before you activate, and that would be you need to have perpetual inventory switched on. You have to have your inventory managed by warehouse, and also item cost by warehouse. This is because branches is really based on warehouses. You do need to have warehouses for branches. Also, please, this is an irreversible step. You cannot go back. So that is it for activating. Numbering series, we're going to users, banks, BP. So that, yes, let's go into the system. So I have one branch open over here, and this is my manager user, and this manager user have access to both. When you set up branches, of course, the first thing that you will do is go into your company details, and you will activate multiple branches over here. When you do that, the bar at the bottom will go, and it will allocate all of your current transactions to the main current branch. And it will add that BPL ID field to all of your transactions. So that's what's happening while it's running. So now you have initialized this, and I initialized this in a demo database that had data before I initialized this. It's a little bit more complex when you do it like this. If you know from the get-go that you are going to have branches, it's a little bit simpler. So I have my branches initialized now. Now let's go and look at the setup. Branches. I am going to just quickly jump back to my deck, because you cannot see what it looked like when I initialized this, because I continued the setup. So this is what it will look like. This demo OEC computers is the transactions that was live in the database was assigned to this main branch, and it was ticked as main branch. And it already had the it might not have had that yet, but the additional branch will just say main, and it will be disabled. So now you come in and you will enable this branch. You will enter your branch registration number. That is something that you need for the setup. When it will actually ask you what your branch number is when you do the initialization, but this is a field that can be changed after the fact. So if you don't have your branch number yet, you can add it later. We have, of course, tax office here as well. So what I did is I activated my main. I filled in all of the details, the address, the global location number, and branch registration number. And we can now see that all of the transactions was assigned to this one, all of the current transactions when I initialized it. And now when I go look at my warehouses, that's linked to this branches, it will say unassigned. So for the heck of me, I couldn't get this to work, to get this unassigned to go away. Now the unassigned should not be present in my user. That's a super user that have access to all branches. And the only thing that it took to make this wording go away was I needed to log out and log in again. So please do not spend time with that. Please just log out and log back in. I'm going to go to my Business One again. Okay. So then I finalized the setup. The default customer ID and default vendor ID is for your information purposes. This is if you do intercompany transactions with one another. It's only for information purposes. This is not going to let anything happen in the background. Our default warehouses, because everything is branches is really run on warehouses. You will see now I have OEC computers. It doesn't say unassigned anymore. And I have my warehouse 1. My west warehouse is also, all my old warehouses is assigned to the previous warehouses where I created a new one for my ITS retail store. And I assigned it to my ITS retail store. So that's just the branches setup. Awesome. Now we do want to assign a numbering series to the specific branches. And that is done here under numbering series. I took my AR invoices and I disabled my primary number series. I created one for my company and one for my ITS retail store. Of course, they do not overlap, and here is the place where I can actually assign my branch. So it's a large undertaking to do this for all of your documents. I only did it for the ones that I need for this demonstration. Okay, numbering series is done. Now we need to assign the users to branches. I'm a super user and I am assigned to all of the branches. And I also want to be assigned to any new ones that's created in the future. So let's go look at Tom's user. So this is Tom's login, and he is on this branch. When you log in, if you can log into 2, then it will ask you which one do you want to log into. His branch assignment is over here. Now you can also use user defaults to set up branches and then apply the user default to the users if that is how you want your setup for users to be. So that's users. I'm going to go back to Jason and let's look at your banks. Well, let's talk about your chart of accounts first. So we have chart of accounts and we have, let's say, revenues. We have all of our sales revenues for domestic lumped into one account. The beauty of this is, even though our ITS retail store is going to also write revenue in here, we will be able to, when we do the reporting, we can split it up. So it's very, very nice. If you were to have certain accounts where you want only one branch to post, then you can do that. And this makes sense on bank accounts. So I'm going to go to my banking setup. Now here I have 2 new bank accounts that I set up for the computer branch and also the ITS retail. And we can go see what the different chart of accounts is linked to this one. This is the main company branch, and I added it to CEO computers. When a journal entry wants to post into this with the other branch selected on the transaction, it will give you an error. And of course, this one is the opposite. I have this under this branch. So yes, it's a nice thought experiment just to go think about which accounts do you really need to be separate. And most of 95%, 99% will be the same. You would look at cash and bank accounts, maybe clearing accounts, and maybe deposit accounts. So that's how we set up our house bank accounts. And next it will be business partner and items. Okay, so here we get to the really nice part of this. I have my business partner open. Okay, and this branch assignment for this business partner is he allows both branches to post it against this business partner. You can do aging separately. So this one is set up like that. I'm paging through to the next one. Machina Corporation is set up like this. Now, there is a difficulty in Go Live when you are taking existing current transactions and you're adding a new branch, because it will assign all of your customers and vendors to the branch that there's transactions already. And if I say, but listen, this is really the retail store customer, I want to unassign it here. You can see there's documents exist, so you cannot do that. That is why we have the disable box, so that even though historically this was assigned to this one, we can now disable it and assign it to the other one. So that's where SAP allows us for that go live differences, where we need to assign it to the new branch. So I have master data. I'm going to jump over to Tom's login. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what Tom can see. I'm just going to go find that one. Earthshaker, here we are. Earthshaker was a branch assigned to both. And you can see it says unassigned in this branch assignment just because Tom is not assigned to this branch. If I page over to this one, it's going to be the same. I didn't actually change it. I didn't update, but I want to look at the ADA one. Okay, and here you can see I did do that distinguishment of now it's disabled for OEC computers and it's assigned to the retail store. Now, let's go back one. This one. This one is only assigned to OEC computers, but Tom can still see it. Tom can still select this on a document for the retail store. What will happen is when you want to enter the document, it's going to tell you no. So it will stop you, but you can see that Tom can see it. Tom can go into the account balance for this, and Tom can even go into the invoice. So when we talk about authorizations, we will talk about this a little bit more. I want to now go look how do we assign items. And that's a fairly easy one because we are assigning items by warehouse. Okay. So, of course, this one is also assigned to the retail store. This one also. Now, you can always, you can always for new list for this one, I locked it. You can lock it, or you can just remove this warehouse as well on the warehouse row, so you do not see it. Okay. Now, Tom can go and he can create a sales document and choose warehouse 01 on his document, and it will at the end when he press adds, it will tell us no, you cannot do that. Your branches and your warehouse is not the same. But let's see what he can see on an item master data. He can see everything. So he will not be able to transact in these warehouses, but he has visibility into it. And this might be a good thing or a bad thing. It depends on the implementation. Okay, last one. I'm going to touch on sales tax. Let's just bring one up. Financial tax. Okay, you can see there's no place here where I can say this tax is applicable to one branch. So when we have AR invoices with sales tax, or everything is going to be lumped into this account. And you will not have reporting that splits it in branches. Now, typically, this is not a problem because it's one EIN, one tax identity, that's with covering all the branches. So you will only send one sales tax report. But if you do need to have separate EINs, and you can do it in very special circumstances, then you will have to fix or figure this out. And the way I would recommend is by doing this, because on the conditions, you can actually specify a branch. So you will have special tax rules for that. Okay. And
real quick, just a quick oh, sorry, I was just going to remind people to throw questions in the Q&A. Thought you were at a pause, but apology.
That was a good place to jump in. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I heard a brief pause. I was gonna be like, throw your questions in. I have 3 so far. Yeah, okay, great, thank you. Sorry about that awkward transition there. I didn't realize that you actually were wrapped up. I thought there was one more piece. But so I got the first question here. Again, any questions, throw it in Q&A, please. It is, what is the payment clearing account branches set up for?
Okay, let me quickly go to that. And that was, let's see, it's under branches, financials branches. So yes, there is a place where we can add, where is that? Payment clearing account right here. And so that one is used when you have centralized payments across multiple branches. So let's say the customer paid an invoice, two invoices, one out of this branch and one out of this branch. You can actually pay it into one branch, and then we have the centralized clearing account where it will go through. It acts like a kind of a bridge to then allocate the payment to the correct customers.
Okay, that's great. Let's see. Thank you. The next question I have here is, can you create a journal entry that has roles of different branches?
Roles of different branches.
Sorry, that was rows of different branches, to be clear, not roles.
Okay.
Rows, ROWS.
Okay, so let's see here. The branch is, there's one branch here, but in effect, you can do a journal entry with different branches, but the rows for the computer and the rows for the retail need to balance on their own. Yeah. So you will see this same situation when we have a inventory transfer and inventory transfer, where the journal entry, we transferred inventory from one branch to the other, and it does have a computer and the IT retail store, and these two need to balance, and these two need to balance, and then it's allowed. Any more questions? Can I move along? I do believe we still have, we have 45 minutes, so I'm going to continue. Okay, now I want to really show you real transactions and then the reporting. So for this, I'm going to bring up Business One. Let's do my manager. Okay, so yes, I'm not going to go over quotas, order, delivery, and then AR invoice, but most people here will know. Those will be exactly the same as my AR invoice with regards to branches. So here I can see my Earth Shaker, which I know is assigned to both. I know my ADA is not assigned to this one. So just for fun, this warehouse is assigned to OEC computers, and I'm going to add and view. There it is. So you saw that I came up until the end, and even then when I added, it told me that, listen, no, this branch is disabled for this one. You cannot post in it. If the branch and the warehouse is not the same, it will stop you. If the customer is not in that branch, it will stop you. So now I'm just going to change this over to one that will work, that one that is assigned to this branch. Okay, and I am a user that can post in both, so I can just toggle it here. This is a warehouse that's assigned to this branch, so everything should flow through. I'm going to add and view. Okay, so this is how a sales order, delivery, and invoice will work. The journal entry, let's go look at that. It's assigned to this branch and to this branch. Everything else is still the same. Now I want to just do an AP invoice because I just want to show you a kind of a different view on the AP invoice. I'm going to go into Tom's login and do an AP invoice for him. Let's do ADA. Oh wait, this is vendors. Okay, so this is a vendor. I just quickly want to peek into what branches this one is assigned to. This one is assigned to all, so this will work. I am now going to take just the same item And I'm going to override my warehouse to make it, oh wait, so that's tax code. Oh, where's my warehouse? Where's my warehouse? This is one of the most important ones and it is hidden. So I'm just quickly going to go and activate my warehouse. Warehouse is here. I'm going to change this to a 1. So now you see there's a disconnect between the retail and the computers, the branch. Oh, sorry, posting date is missing. I'm going to add a new again. Warehouse not assigned. So you see, that's how the system will make sure that your branches and your warehouses and your customers and vendors are aligned. But did you see that Tom can actually enter this? He can actually see it. So if your requirements are that you don't want branches to really see each other's stuff, we do need to do additional work. I changed back, add a new, here we go. So, and that's the only difference is that we have branches assigned and branches assigned to the journal entry as well. I'm just quickly going to pay that invoice, incoming payment for this one, and you will see that we have that. I think it was Earthshaker. Earthshaker. Okay, here we go. Oops. Here we go. Okay, it is the last one that we entered. 22. Here we go, and of course, you know, you can this is nice. Let's see if we can select the wrong. Okay, I'm just testing here. Well, just playing here really. Control B and put that amount over there, and okay, and I'll add. Oops. So let's go look at the journal entry. It is OEC Computers, and it is the Cash at Bank branch account. Okay. So it really works the same. Outgoing payments work the same. But your journal entry will now have a tag also for which branch ID it is from. I want to move over to how you do intercompany transactions. So you can go the route of an inventory transfer. So I did quickly just look at that before. I'm just going to open one that I did a couple of days ago. So if you choose to do an inventory transfer when you are buying and selling from the other branch, it will move stock, yes. It will not post revenue or profitability or branch performance. But this is a very easy way to do it. Your reporting will just not show all of those. If you do want to show your revenue, cost, margin, branch profitability, we do need to do kind of an intercompany transactions. So it will be a sale to the one branch and a purchase from the other branch. I think what have I? Okay, this was the one that. Okay, this is the one, this is a sale from the retail store from the company. And this is the one component of this, and then you need to have your AP component as well. So do you see that the system didn't do this for you automatically? To actually do this intercompany stuff automatically, generating the other side of the transaction is not in the normal out-of-the-box branches. But there is ways where we can actually accomplish that with add-ons and BOEM and intercompany transfer stuff. But yes, just note that you will have to do both sides of the transaction. And in this way, you will have your revenue, you will move stock, you will have your margins, your branch profitability, and financial reporting as well. Next, I'm just going to go over security and authorizations, because you did see that Tom could see all of the computer branches inventory, their customers and vendors, their invoices. I believe they're aging and everything. So let's look at what authorizations look like here. I'm just going to search for branches. Okay, there's branches. Ooh, I haven't spelled it out. Okay, there's branches. But yes, I've searched. There's no other, wait, where's that? Fixed asset branches, financials. Yes. There is not, in the authorizations, you cannot say branch company and branch retail be allowed for this customer. How we will accomplish that for documents would be the document series. Yes, so we can create a document series for, well, we did create a document series for that on invoices, and then you assign the series to the users in one branch and the series to the other users in the other branch. This will now solve your issue for them seeing documents. Now, seeing the customers and the vendors, we will have to do with something like Boyum, B1 up, and minimize the size that they can see. So you can see that there's some limitations in out-of-the-box authorizations. You can also do user defaults on the warehouse. You can do that. Document series we talked about, and we talked about the stuff can be hidden by B1 up if you really don't want the others to see it. And next, the reporting is really the best one. No, I don't want to say it. Can do this. So now that we have set up branches, we made some transactions, we can now see financial report. So I'm going to go to, let's do profit and loss. Okay. On all of your reports, you will see when you expand this, you will be able to select a branch and select it for one branch or both branches, run it together. So I'm going to run this for OEC computers. Okay, and the date says this year. Okay, there we have one. Let's see, maybe I can show both at the same time if I do this. And if I think I can do both. Let's do this one. We select the other one. Okay. Yes, I can. Okay, and here you see the two branches next to one another. So you can take this to Excel, or you can then run them together. Okay, I was just looking at the first amount and it looked the same to me, so I can see that it is different. Our total sales revenue here is less than we have on this one. This one, of course, is the new branch that I entered, so this is kind of what I expected. I also put a large journal entry in here just to have numbers. So yeah, wonderful how you can do that with the reporting. You will have the same thing on a balance sheet. You can go and expand and select a branch. You will have the same on a trial balance where we see both the profit and loss and the balance sheet. And you can go expand and you can see branch. There we go. Really, really nice. Aging, of course, you can run your aging by branch. There it is. And you can select which one you want to do. This one is going to be a lot smaller because I don't have much in there. Yes. So you can do this by branches as well. Sales aging is also a very exciting one. Let's do, and of course, sales analysis report. We will also have the same thing when we go to purchase analysis report. Sorry, I didn't want to open up that one. Sales analysis, there we go. On each of these tabs, you will now see a branch selection. You only want to see the sales analysis by customers by that date for this branch. By items, branch again. By sales employee, by branch again. Also, your open item list can be filtered by branch so that you only see your open items. So let's see. Okay. I think now I need to just get back to my deck. Okay. So here is some implementation mistakes that we found in implementing branches. And of course, that first one is really deciding whether branches is correct for your company and your situation. And the next one is enabling branches without proper planning. So yes, always do this in the test in the sandbox first. And the third point is designing your warehouses. So you would need to take into consideration when you create your warehouses that this will be linked to a branch. And it will be a one-to-one. One warehouse can only be assigned to one branch. One warehouse can only be assigned to one branch. Yes, but branches can have more than one warehouse. Just things to take into consideration. Of course, when you are also thinking of using branches, just know that you can also look at dimensions and cost centers and see how that compare to your situation and which one is better for your situation. Like I mentioned before, dimensions is more about what and who should this revenue or expenses be assigned to, whereas branches is where did this happen, in which location, retail store, distribution center, and that's across most documents, all documents. Okay, and of course, not reviewing your proper user authorizations. We now know that yes, authorizations is one part of this, but if you don't want persons to see certain data, then we can go further and use the B1 up tool to hide more. Okay, now assuming every SAP module support branches, I will get back to this one. Numbering series is a good one. And expecting interbranch automation when you initialize branches. No, there's no automation. You will have to do the sales and the purchasing side when they do intercompany transfers. Custom integrations and reports. Of course, when you do branches, you just want to make sure that all of your reports print out right and look at the branches for each of your reports, and not training end users. Next one. Okay, so what does Business One branches really cover? So you can see here sales, purchasing, all of these, productions, financials, fixed assets. This is nice. You might not be able to assign a fixed asset to a branch, the fixed asset master data, but when you do the capitalization and the other documents, you do assign a branch to the fixed asset. Banking, okay, all of these. Now, I'm saying this is partially supported because you cannot run MRP by branch, but because MRP is run by warehouse, you can actually do it. You just need to select the branch warehouses when you do your run and not mix them up. Resources is not, but if you have a resource and the resource is on a bill of material and on an invoice, then of course that part is going to be one branch or the other. Equipment cards, blanket agreements, no. Well, partially. You cannot select a branch on a customer equipment card, but if your customer equipment card is linked to a sales contract and a sales call, yes, we still do not see branches there. But on the service call, if you do put an AR invoice, AP invoice to be billed to the customer, then of course that transaction will have the branch on it. So even though I say this is not branch aware, the things where you can actually put transactions against the project will have expenses and revenue, and those transactions will then pull in the branches so that your financials will always have the branch tag on it. And that's it.
There we go. Amazing job there, Marli. Thank you so much. Round of internet applause for Marli. So now we'll dive into the questions here and we'll go through all the Q&A. Let's start here with this one. With production orders, can you pull some inventory from a different branch as well?
You know what? I think that will behave the same as we saw in our other documents, that when we have a production order, and listen, this is going to be fast. I'm just going to do this, and then I'm going to, okay, then we have the other warehouse there, add, yep, no, you cannot. It needs to be, all of the warehouses needs to be in the same branch.
All the warehouses need to be in the same branch, or is that a configuration setting that needs to be tweaked to be clear?
No, it's not the configuration. If you are
Okay.
making your finished good into warehouse 01 that is assigned to branch computer, then all of your rows must come out of that same branch. And this
Okay.
row over here was my retail warehouse. So that's why when I wanted to add this, it's going to say warehouse is not assigned to the same branch as the document. Yes. Good question.
Okay. Yeah, great question. Great question. Love them. I got a few others here we can ask really quick because we are a little bit over. If you all have time. If not, you can watch this on YouTube afterwards. So the next question we have, as far as branches versus an external like company, which one is typically preferred if they have the same tax ID, or if they have separate tax IDs? Can you do it if it's just like a small subsidiary with a holding company or something like that? So I guess you're asking like both different scenarios, it sounds like.
Yes. Okay. So let's see. So the one scenario, tell me again.
So one scenario, it's basically, I guess the sense of the question would be branches versus setting up a separate company. Like, where do you draw the line? Is it just the tax codes? Is it the business? Or like the example, like a holding company, but they're really just doing financials, and it's really the, like, say the branch, that's really the operating company, but maybe they have different tax codes, or maybe they need the same tax code. How does that work? Like, can you kind of explain that as far as branches versus a different company?
Okay, so the holding company will have a different tax ID. And in that case, the rule of thumb is always to go with different databases. And in very special cases, as you can see here, we can put two separate tax IDs, tax offices in the same company with different branches. And that will be determined by your CPA and your consultants. But if they then say, yes, this is fine, we can put the holding company in here and then the subsidiary in here. You do need to provide for, if they're separate EINs, of course, you will have to provide separate tax accounts, tax reports, sales tax. And for that, you will need to set up different rules for both. Does that answer your question?
I believe so. I was looking to see if there was any feedback or any additional questions. I do not see anybody. This is last call if you have a question. If not, give 10 seconds. I don't see a thing here. Okay, so great. Hey, thank you so much, Marli. That really was amazing. I really loved how you went through some of those questions, especially that last one. That was a fun one to go over. So thank you, everybody that joined us today, everybody that will eventually be watching this out there on our YouTube channel. We appreciate you being here. Be sure to follow us on LinkedIn. You just Quaint Business Solutions, search it, LinkedIn. Okay, check for email announcements on our next feature, product feature, and other great things that we have going on here at Quaint. We got a lot of good stuff going on all the time. Also, please don't forget to go visit our website, www.quaintbusiness.com. Right there, you're going to find a ton of great resources, a lot of information, and you might find some surprises. So thank you again, and we'll look forward to seeing you all again this time next month.